Hello and happy Monday. This is Tammy with Aerialistic Naturals, and we have one heck of a guest today. Gail Camp is coming on. I can't talk today. Gail Camp is coming on today with us, and she's going to answer some questions about hemp and growing hemp. But we'll talk about that in just a minute. I wanted to talk really quick about the Texas regulations that came down and went into effect on August 2nd, which was yesterday. Just to let you know, I got a lot of calls from you guys in the store saying, hey, is CBD illegal now? I heard CBD is illegal. No, it is not. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted Gail to come on today so we could talk about hemp and what happened with the regulations. The regulations are really, really good, guys. It's really not as bad as everybody thinks. CBD is still legal. You don't have to worry about that. I know there's a lot of people out there that are getting crazy great benefits with CBD. And so it's not going to be taken away from you. You don't have to worry about that. But what actually did go into effect is a ban on smokable hemp. And I'm going to bring Gail on before we get into that and talk about what is smokable hemp and that kind of thing. But anyway, Gail Camp is not only a good friend of mine and a neighbor, but she has just recently started a nursery where she is growing fruits and vegetables and those kind of things, but she is also growing hemp. So she's one of the newest hemp farmers in Texas. So I'm really excited about that. And her nursery is Granny G's Plant Nursery and More. And she's going to tell us a little bit about it. I will tell you, this girl, I've known her since I moved into my house almost 3 years ago. And she does a little bit of photography. She's a great photographer. And in fact, she's done the pictures that you've seen of me on the website and stuff. So, and I think that she did a pretty good job because she had some work cut out for her, with me, but I'm not a good model. But she did a great job. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to bring Gail on, and we're going to talk about the smokable ban in Texas. Hey, Miss Gail.
Hi, Miss Tammy. How are you?
Oh, I'm just a rambling. You know how that goes.
I do. Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being on. I'm really excited to talk to you about this. I was excited when we started talking, outside the store about what you were doing. And, we have, we just kind of have that old joke with us being neighbors, you having a gate at the back end of your fence so I can kind of come through there and get me some tomatoes and carrots and cucumbers and all that stuff.
It's still a joke, and there's no gate back there yet.
There's no gate. There's no gate in the backyard.
Not yet.
Well, I did want to mention, because I did mention that you were my photographer a couple of years ago when we started doing some photography for the website. And in fact, not only were you my photographer, but Wedding Wires gave you the Couples Choice Award in 2017, 18, 19, and 20?
That's
right?
Correct. 4 years in a row.
Yay! That's pretty good. So are you still doing photography?
We are. We're due to the virus, it slowed not only us down, but it's slowed a lot of businesses down. So it's just touch and go. We still have to honor the contracts that we have right now, but we're starting to book for 2021. Good
deal. We don't want you to stop doing that. You're a busy lady. And speaking of busy, one of the things that I've been involved with, I've been minorly involved. I don't want to take a whole bunch of credit here, just minorly involved. But Gail has an organization that is a charity, Celebrate Your Life. And I think I did some gift bags for it 1 year, actually 2 years. I think I did 2 years. I put some things in the gift bags from Aerialistic Naturals. How is Celebrate Your Life going? I know you had to put it on hold this year because of COVID, but is it still taking off?
It's still taking off. And funny you should ask. Today is the 2nd year anniversary that this very first started today. So
wow,
posting and sharing cute little videos today, but it's hard, watching those videos and being away from from our group of people and the cancer survivors. But we still, some of us, we're still touching base, on Facebook. How you doing? If you need something, can't wait to see you. But right now everything is on hold. Our photo shoot and our appreciation dinner also has been postponed into 2021. But just know that we're still working behind the scenes. So it's still going.
Well, that's good. That's good, because I know a lot of survivors that I sent to you. I said, you've got to do this. This is amazing what these people are doing with the photo shoots and the dinners. And I've sent a few people, and it was extremely just very touching to them. So it was good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you.
So, okay. So I want to, real quick, before we start talking about you growing hemp, I want to talk about the smokable ban in Texas, because a lot of folks are a little confused. Like I said earlier, I received phone calls at the store here regarding the smokable ban. People are asking me, is CBD illegal now? And no, it's not. What the regs have done is they have made it, retailers like myself, like Aerialistic Naturals, are unable to sell smokables to the public or to anyone. Okay. So when they say smokables, they're talking about like the pre-roll hemps, the pre-rolled hemp, or the hemp vapes. Those are smokables. Nothing else has been affected so far. Okay. Everything's going to be fine with everything else, like your CBD tinctures and your topicals and all that's going to be just fine. Your soft gels, all of that. So it's just the stuff that is pre-rolled or the vapes. Now, I know that a lot of my clients really like the flower, and we are able to keep the flower, the loose hemp flower, because it is considered an ingredient, more or less. You can cook with it. You can infuse it into oil for skincare, those kind of things. And in fact, we brought on Jill Roberts, the nutritionist. She's on the second Monday of every month on our live here. And Jill is teaching us how to cook with hemp. So we do still have the flour. So I wanted everybody to know that we have the loose flour. You can use it as an ingredient, and we are even providing some recipes for you guys. So because I know people are thinking, this is crazy. Why is Gail growing hemp when it just got illegal? It's not illegal, right, Gail?
Correct.
So now you grow a couple of different things. So it's not just hemp. You grow a few things. So what do you kind of have in the works? Tell us a little bit about what you're growing and that kind of thing.
What we're growing. So right now we are a small private nursery.
Okay.
So we're not open to the public. So basically right now it's a pre-order situation. You would have to place your orders online 30 days prior to the sowing dates. So those dates will be available on our upcoming website, which is courtesy of Bourbon and Lace Studios. Katie Simmons, who's a good friend of mine and also a fabulous wedding photographer. But we'll have a list of dates and things for people to guidelines for people to go by. But our shopping list is very large. I'm known for, going big and not small. So we have about 40 different varieties of tomatoes and peppers from all over the world. regular garden vegetables, like, squash and beans. We're also going to start some, cantaloupe, watermelon, kiwi, things, fun stuff.
I know, I tried the tomatoes. You brought me some tomatoes. They were great.
Thank you. We'll be selling a lot of our stuff in 1-gallon containers, and then also in 12-pack containers. It just depends on what people want to pre-order. You can also find us this summer and spring 2021 at some flea markets. We do have our permits now to go to farmers markets and flea markets. But if anybody's interested in viewing the list before it comes out, it's ready. I can send it by email. You guys can look it over.
Okay, great. Now, so you guys are selling the actual plant, not like, are you selling like just tomatoes, or are you selling the actual like tomato plant?
So it's the actual plant. So for example, if you go to a store and you want to get ready to start your garden and you purchase your plants, we're the same way. So we're pre-order. You just can't walk up right now. We'll have some open dates to the public where they can come, like the first and third weekends of every month, or you can call by appointment and stop by, or give us a call, or you can even place your order online. So.
Okay. So you're working on your website right now, aren't you?
We are, and it's been very time consuming because you have to put those quick view details in there with each plant, and it's taken us a long time to get these things done. But no, that's just not the other things that we're doing. We're going to be doing building garden boxes. We'll have delivery, seed starting. So for example, if you don't have time to start your own plants, you can give us a call. We can babysit basically and start your own plants for you. So
I see. Well, I did not know that you would babysit plants. I like the finished product. I do not have a green thumb.
I know, but if you don't have time, a lot of people don't have time to start their own gardens. So
yeah, no kidding. So, okay. So we talked about the vegetables and the vegetables and fruits and stuff that you're growing and how you're selling them. So what in the world, okay, 2 years ago, you were taking pictures of me. What in the world made you wake up one morning and say, I want to be a hemp farmer?
Not only do I like to grow stuff, we all know I like to grow things, but there is a need in Texas for hemp farmers. However, the Texas heat is gonna play a crucial role with growing, not just with myself, but anybody else that wants to grow. But until we figure out, the deadlines or the harvesting deadlines and the specifications, it's just going to be kind of touch and go right now. But I've personally seen, the therapeutic benefits that hemp supplies to a lot of people, especially to some cancer survivors. We've used your products as well. We know that they work, but I just like helping people and doing what I can. So
yeah. I know. I always say you're the one person I know that has a heart bigger than Texas. No kidding. Don't act all shy. You know you do.
Okay. Yes, I do. I like to stay busy.
So, okay. So you decided, so bring me in here. What happened then? You decided that you wanted to grow hemp, and what in the world did you have to do? I mean, you can't just like go down to, I don't even know, one of these nurseries. Like, I keep thinking Big Tex trees, but you can't go down there and get hemp seeds. So what do you have to, I mean, with the regulations coming on and everything, what do you have to do to make sure that you're doing everything by the book, the straight and narrow? You're not going to, get in trouble for anything because, Texas is very conservative and they're taking this whole hemp cannabis thing extremely slow. So what do you have to do? Tell me, because I don't know anything about that part.
There's a lot to do. But first of all, according to the rules and regulations, you cannot have a felony record when you apply. So you have to, you have to wait 10 years before you can apply if you have a felony record. So they do a background checks. They do local, state, government, FBI. They're very serious about who applies. But when you apply, the first two things you have to do is apply for a producer and facilities license. So a producer meaning grower, facility meaning the location of where that you're going to grow.
Okay.
But so after that, once you're approved, you have to go get what's called a lot permit. You cannot start your seeds until you get your lot permit. So and your lot permit is only good for one variety, one flavor, one strain, and it's good for 180 days. So if you were to go plant 5 different types, you would have to get 5 lot permits.
So 5 different strains would mean 5 lot permits.
5 lot, correct. And each permit that you have is $100 per permit or license. So so each time you turn a crop, or each time you harvest your crop, before you can start another one, you have to apply for another lot permit. You cannot continue planting. You have to wait until you get your permits to plant.
Wow.
It usually takes about 60 days to get your growers and facilities license, but we were fortunate. It only took us about 10 days.
Wow.
But each thing is a process. So the first thing you have to do is get your grower facility license, then your lot license. But if you're going to grow in greenhouses, you have to have what's called a nursery license. That's another $100. So if you were to set up, numerous greenhouses, which is considered a lot. So if I was to grow 1 strand under 1 greenhouse, okay, so that's 1 lot permit.
Wow.
But you still have to have a nursery license because it's under a greenhouse.
And you have to separate those so they don't breed. Is that what I'm trying to say?
Cross-pollinate.
So they don't breed.
So they don't breed, but no. So you can't grow, 2 or 3 different varieties in the same greenhouse. It's not recommended.
Yeah.
But as I've been doing my research, I've seen a lot of people that grow several varieties together because they're trying to breed or produce a different type, but it's not recommended. So you definitely have to separate them.
Yeah, because if you plant Bubba Kush and cherry wine, you'll end up with Bubba wine.
Bubba wine, absolutely.
Okay, that's yeah. All right. Yeah, so that could get really expensive when you start doing that.
It does.
And I'm bringing this to the forefront because I want our clients here and I want our audience to know that a lot of people may say something about the cost of this and the cost of that. There's so much involved as far as the licensing and the different. You have to pay for every lot. A permit for every lot, and then there's testing. So do you you have to test your hemp after it grows, or
correct okay. So about 10, I think it's about 15 days before or a week before you harvest, you have to send off to a lab to have your product tested. And then further as we go into this, I'll go into a little bit more detail about what happens if your product tests for higher than the 0.3 THC.
Yeah, and that's why they're doing it, folks, is because Texas they don't want marijuana right now. So we got to keep that THC level low. So how long does it take to grow a crop of hemp?
8 to 9 weeks.
8 to 9 weeks. So now that, and I'm going to get into this.
I know. Go ahead.
So how long does it take to grow a tree?
Years.
So would it be pretty accurate to say that maybe the lumber companies won't like that, and the different textiles aren't crazy about the hemp growing? Some of those big textile companies?
Some of them are, because you can produce a lot of products with hemp.
Yeah.
Now people are, they're using it to make string and twines and clothing and all kind of products out there. It's a very large, expensive hobby to have if you're going into the hemp business.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. So, let's see, we're running out of time here. So I'm going to ask you, how do you, going back to the THC level, how do you ensure that we don't go over the 0.3% THC level that is required federally and by Texas?
Carefully. So in order to do this, you must purchase your seeds from an approved seed company. It has to be approved by the Texas Department of Agriculture, TDA. The seed that you purchase has to be on this list, and you can find the list at the texasagriculture.gov. It's a very extensive list. There's probably over 100 varieties that are on this list. And what this means is, if it's an approved seed, it means that it meets the legal standards to be able to grow or sell or label. I recommend that you do your research, because you might have some sellers out here that sell you something that's over, the 0.3.
Yeah.
So when you go to purchase your seeds online, make sure that these companies that you purchase your seeds from have three things. And you've got to have a certificate of analysis. You have to have a germination report. You also have to have a certified seed license for the seed itself. And the company that I buy my seed from, they give all this information online, so you can print it out, or they'll mail it with the seed. And sometimes it's on the back of the packet. It also gives you the information on the back of the packet of the seeds that you buy. But there's other factors that you have to consider when growing. You have to consider the environment. If you're planting in ground, you've got to consider the type of soil. Is it high in metals? Is it higher, in iron? Is it pesticides been used? And this is why we have come up with our own, what you would say, special potting blend for these plants, because you want to make sure that they get the proper nutrients.
Yeah.
And if you let your plants grow past the 9-week stage, the larger the plant, the more it's going to produce, the higher the THC levels. So you have to be very careful and harvest your plants when you're supposed to. Hemp strains is known for spiking in the THC levels. But there are some rules and regulations that the Texas Department of Agriculture have put in place.
Yeah.
So before you harvest, like we were talking about earlier, you do have to test your plant. You have to send in a sample to an approved facility, and they give you a list of who you can use. If the sample comes back, they call hot or spiked, or it's above the 0.3 legal limit, TDA, the Texas Department of Agriculture, will notify the USDA, but the TDA will call you and say, Ms. Camp, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to destroy your crop. And they give you guidelines for destroying your crop. And you have so many days to do that.
All kinds of things going through my head.
I mean, that would be heartbreaking. It would be heartbreaking. I read an article the other day that this guy had over 80 acres and it tested hot, and he had to mow down his 80 acres of hemp for 2 days. But if you fail to destroy the crop, you can face fines and jail time, and they'll definitely take your license away, and you won't be able to use it again. But there's so much. But there's ways. Like I said, if you harvest on time, and do the things that you're supposed to do, and take care of the plants, and you should be okay.
Yeah.
Follow the rules. Follow the rules.
Follow the rules. This is the reason why everybody's not just going out and planting hemp, and not everybody can just open up a store or boutique or whatever the case may be and just start selling. Along with that, there's testing that we do on our products as well, and we have to do that to stay legal, and we had to apply for our licensing and that kind of thing as well. I wanted to, when is your first crop going to be ready? Did I ask you that?
Well, you did not. So our first crop is one of your favorites, which is you already know what it is.
I do.
It's the cherry wine.
Yeah.
And it will be ready probably between 8 and 9 weeks from now.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna tell you how many we planted either. So.
Okay, so we will hopefully have some of Granny G's hemp in our store in about 2 months, 2.5 months?
So after the 9-week period, of course, you have to allow it to dry, and that takes about 10 to 2 weeks. So I would say
3 months?
3.5 months.
Yeah, so about 3.5 months. We do still have, now again, guys, we do not have any smokables. We have no vapes, no pre-rolls. They're gone, never to return at this point. But we do have the can of flour that is still the loose flour. We have the calm. We have, here is it, the lift. I know it's all backwards. We have the rest. That one's completely upside down and backwards. We have the rest, and then we have the calm, which you can see through the box right here now.
I think you need some of that right now.
Yes, so we do have the 4. Those are specific. They are not a specific strain. What they are is they're a strain that grew high in specific terpenes, which we'll talk about terpenes on a later live when we get into some of the educational stuff that we're planning on doing. So let's see. We talked about the Texas regs. We talked about the smokable ban. I'm looking at my notes. Yes, I'm cheating. We talked about the can of flour. I think that is about it. So tell me, how many strains do you have planted right now?
Just one.
Just one.
Just one.
Just one.
Just one.
That's the cherry wine.
This is the cherry wine, and this is also basically it's a test. It's a test bunch. To make sure that we are doing things correctly, and that we can figure out how to beat the Texas heat.
Yeah. Well, you'll figure it out. I mean, you can grow anything.
True. But hemp's a little different.
Well, I know that you have a more or less a proprietary way that you are growing your hemp, because for those of you who don't know, and Gail had mentioned it a little while earlier, whenever you plant hemp in the ground, it absorbs every toxin, heavy metal, pesticide, anything that's in the ground, it's going to absorb. So Gail's figured out a way around that, and she's not going to let me talk about it, but I don't really know that much about it anyway.
Not right now. We're not going to talk about it just yet. But I definitely recommend having your soil tested first.
Yes.
You can send it off to the the TDA. They'll test it for you. You can also send it up to Texas A&M. They'll test it for you. I mean, you can grow in ground, but there's a lot of pre-work that you have to do first. So we can get into that later too. But it can be done. We just got to figure it out.
I can't even imagine. I mean, I know that what we have to go through in the store with, testing, and the testing is expensive. It's expensive because it's not like you just test for THC and CBD in the final product, you have to test for heavy metals, you have to test for pesticides, you have to test for microbials, you have to, are you guys having to test for microbials as well?
We will in the future.
Yeah.
I want to touch on the pesticides real quick too. We are an all organic nursery. Any pesticides that we use are natural. So we use neem oil, and we also use a spearmint oil that works on the plants. So that goes for any type of plant. So
there's your tip today, guys.
There's your tip. That's the only tip I'm going to give today. So
if you have something, if you're growing some fruits and vegetables in your garden, which a lot of people are growing right now, there's your tip from Miss Gail Camp. And with that, I think that we're gonna call it a day. So Gail, I really appreciate you coming on and telling us a little bit about what you've been going through, just getting this together. This is
this is why I've been laying low. I've been laying low a lot.
It's a lot, and I'm sure it's a lot of work because it is hot outside. So it's not like you're doing this in the comfort of your living room, you know.
I could be. I'm not just kidding.
Thank you so much, Gail, and I appreciate you coming on here. I look forward to getting you back on when the plants are grown and you can tell us a little bit more about them and show them to us and all of that stuff. I'm really excited about that.
All right. Well, I appreciate you very much. Our website should be finished in about 2 weeks. So we'll be able to share all the goods, the news and the goods. And there's also a little Ask Granny tab on there. So if anybody wants to ask questions, they can ask questions about just about anything.
All right. Ask Granny.
Ask Granny.
I am, let's see, I'm going to put this across here really quickly. I should have done this earlier. Sorry. It's Granny G's Plant Nursery and More. And do you want to tell us what the website is? I know it's not live yet, but do you want to tell it to us?
So right now it hasn't been published, but I can give you the email address. It's info at GrannyG'sNursery.com.
Granny G's, is it nursery.com?
Correct. Info at GrannyG's.com. And info at Granny G's. See, it's so new still. See. Info at GrannyG'sNursery.com.
That's awesome. By the way, Gail, I just want to let you know, I don't know if you can see the comments, but we got a comment from Heather McNeil. She said Gail is awesome. So yes, she is. Amanda Wood says hi to both of us. So
hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
So we'll have a Facebook page in the future. I'm on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook at Gail Camp. Also on Instagram. But these are just a few ways to find us. But we'll have a website and a Facebook page, so hopefully to publish in 2 weeks or less.
Yay! Yay! Well, I appreciate you coming on here, Gail, and I guess I will. I'll see you around the hood, girl.
All right, just come in the back gate. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah, I can't even tell you what I was thinking when you were talking about the THC levels, how you have to destroy them. I can just see it now. Tammy, would you come over? All right, guys, we will see you next Monday with Jill Roberts here on Aerialistic Naturals live at 3 o'clock, just like always. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you later.